Our motto is, we will show you where you are making or losing money. An insurance entity must include its IBNR reserve in any analysis of its portfolio to arrive at the proper conclusions. The MRRS database not only includes the IBNR, it generates it with your actuary controlling the loss factors. Our IBNR module creates the transactions on a very low level of detail. When the Create IBNR module is executed, it actually does it risk by risk or claim by claim. For example, let's say you lump general liability, products liability, and surety together and call the grouping casualty, and you want to use the same loss factors against the three lines to calculate the IBNR. The MRRS will allow you to do this by creating the transactions risk by risk, claim by claim. The database will pick up all the necessary underlying codes. For example, statutory line and state, or reinsurer if you are calculating the ceded IBNR. This allows our direct feed to the Wing statutory statement to work. Now let's get started. This video is an example of how to fill the MRRS with gross IBNR records. We will be happy to demonstrate the ceded when we meet you. Once the quarter is closed and the non-IBNR numbers are finalized, you can start to create and add the IBNR to the MRRS database. I have created a database of 5 underwriting years over 5 financial years with 5 IBNR grouping categories. The first step is to create the loss development factors. This batch procedure reads the inception to date individual claim details and does a loss year averaging and creates the loss development factors using both paid and case reserves. One thing you get with working with the MRRS Solutions Corp, if you wanted to modify the formula we are using, we can do it. This is the report that is generated while creating the factors. You will notice that it does it for both indemnity and loss expenses. And if we scroll to the bottom, you can see the factors that we generated. Once the factors are created, the actuary will probably want to modify them. He may want to average them with industry data or based on internal knowledge. Let's go look at the generated factors. You can page through the entries. The procedure created 25 records based on 5 categories and 5 loss years that I've used for this exercise. We built the system to give the actuary a lot of flexibility. From here, the actuary could simply go and increase or decrease any of the factor entries, or even delete the factor, which would result in no IBNR being created for the group. We also provide you a short line to type an explanation as to why the record was modified. You also have the ability to change the calculation code. You can change the record to say work on a loss ratio instead of just claim data. This video would get too long if we went through every combination of the codes to control the calculation. You will notice there is a factor in the record to create ULAE. In addition to working with the generated records, you also have the ability to add factor records. You will notice there is a field labeled risk number. Let's say you had a risk which could be a treaty or a large insurance account. You can enter individual factors which will override the group factor record. Finally, you also have the ability to enter lump sum IBNR amounts. You simply enter the necessary codes by pointing and clicking. And then the amounts. Along with a short description explaining the reason for the entry. Believe me, this comes in handy when inevitably you are looking back at your numbers in the future. There is no perfect IBNR system. Ultimately, you use a combination of industry recognized formulas and the knowledge of your book to create the factors. We provide you the ability to dig down in your book of business to more understand what is occurring. Let's look at a portion of our development triangle reporting system. Like most inquiries or reports throughout the system, you can pick out portions of the portfolio by entering codes. I'm going to select all categories. So let's look at the report. We are looking at the first underwriting year of the grouping. The top portion of the report is cumulative numbers, which allows you to see the development. You can follow the incurred with and without IBNR. We also have the individual financial year numbers to allow you to see the impact of the underwriting year had on your income statement. In addition, we display the risk and claim counts. How you use this information depends on what you are writing and the company philosophy. New and renew, opening, closing. However, the IBNR is based on the claims. Let's go see what we can see about the claims. This option will allow you to surf through the individual claim details and drill down to a very low level to look for patterns. Like any list, you can click a line and see more information. In this case, you can see the details entered by the claims department, and the buttons at the bottom of the screen will show you more information. Let's take a quick look at another development triangle. This one allows a greater selection. I'm going to select cargo. The first triangle we used was a typical I-Series report, but as you can see, we can make flashy reports as well using Crystal reports. We can train you on our database so you can use Crystal to create your own reports. I just want to point out when I was building the IBNR, I used the combined loss ratio calculation of 100 for the first year. One last exhibit I would like to show you. This is a report from our quarterly management package. I just wanted to show you the power of Crystal using our database. You can make all kinds of graphs to highlight any report. There is much more information available, but we don't want the video to become too long. But allow me to remind you that if you use this system, you have all the information required for the statutory statement, including P&F. I hope you liked what you watched and will give us an opportunity to show you more.